You think your morning cup of coffee is a simple, harmless ritual, a comforting start to the day in a favorite mug, perhaps accompanied by a biscuit. It is the fuel of the nation. But what if I told you that for millions of older adults across the UK, that daily habit is silently undermining their health, hiding significant risks beneath a pleasant aroma? As we age, our internal landscape changes. The filtration systems that once processed impurities with ease our liver and kidneys slow down. Our stomachs become more sensitive to acidity. Our cardiovascular systems become more reactive to stimulants. What a 20-year-old can metabolize without a second thought can become a significant physiological stressor for someone over 55, particularly for those managing conditions like hypertension, acid reflux, or age-related sleep disturbances. The coffee aisle in your local supermarket is not a benign landscape. It is a minefield of hidden sugars, excessive chemical residues, and industrial processing byproducts that health agencies warn may accumulate in the body over time. Over the next 10 minutes, we will peel back the labels, and we will conclude with 3 that offer a genuinely safer path. This is not sensationalism. It is about informed consent in your later years. 1. The budget powdered instant. The smell is unmistakable when you break the seal. Acrid, dusty, almost metallic. It is the smell of austerity, a staple in office kitchenettes and emergency cupboards for decades. It feels safe because it is familiar and cheap. Yet, for the aging body, this product is often less coffee and more industrial chemistry. To turn coffee into this ultrafine powder, quickly and cheaply, manufacturers often use intensive high-heat spray drying processes on low-grade Robusta beans. Regulatory bodies monitor these processes because high-heat treatment of starchy beans can generate acrylamide, a chemical compound classified as a probable human carcinogen. Furthermore, the cheaper Robusta beans used here naturally contain significantly higher caffeine levels and more aggressive chlorogenic acids than Arabica beans, which can wreak havoc on older digestive tracts already prone to reflux. You might think choosing the mild version is healthier, but the processing method remains the same. The risk here isn't immediate poisoning. If you must have instant, look for freeze-dried 100% Arabica, which uses lower temperatures to preserve the coffee. But if you think upgrading to the gold standard is the answer, you need to hear about the next item on our list. 2. The supermarket premium gold blends. It looks golden in the spoon. The granules are larger, suggestive of quality. The marketing uses words like smooth and rich, appealing to a desire for a better experience without the fuss of a machine. However, this is often a masterclass in deceptive marketing. While smoother than the budget powder, many gold blends are still heavily processed instant coffees designed for mass shelf stability, not health. Studies have shown that even these premium instant varieties can contain high levels of oxalates, compounds that can contribute to kidney stone formation. For older adults where kidney function is already a concern, daily loading of oxalates is inadvisable. The false healthy option here is believing the gold label means pure. It often just means a slightly better blend of chemically processed concentrate. The invisible risk is renal stress that builds quietly over years of morning cups. A simple French press using coarse ground beans gives you control over the strength and eliminates. If you appreciate this level of detailed investigation into everyday products, please consider clicking the like button below. It helps this information reach those who need it most. Now we move from the supermarket aisle to the high street, where the danger becomes sweeter. 3. The High Street Seasonal Latte. It is a multi-sensory seduction. The warmth of the cup in your hands on a cold day, the towering visual of cream and syrup. It feels like a harmless treat, a reward for a hard day's shopping. We must be blunt. For an older adult, particularly anyone monitoring blood glucose or cardiovascular health, this is not a coffee. It is a liquid dessert delivering a metabolic shock. A typical large seasonal drink from major UK chains can contain upwards of 50 grams of sugar that is over 12 teaspoons and 500 calories in a single serving. Health agencies warn that liquid sugar is absorbed rapidly, causing intense spikes in insulin. For aging pancreases, this is an immense strain, contributing to insulin resistance and visceral fat accumulation around vital organs. The most dangerous mistake is asking for skimmed milk and believing you have made a healthy choice. The removal of fat often speeds up the absorption of the sugars. The delayed risk here is the slow creep of type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease, masked by the comforting flavor of gingerbread or pumpkin spice. A plain latte or flat white, perhaps with a dusting of cinnamon for flavor instead of syrup. But sugar isn't the only hidden additive we need to discuss. 4. The Skinny Instant Cappuccino Sachet. It sounds comical when shaking the box like dry sand. It promises the frothy luxury of a cappuccino in an instant format, often marketed with words like skinny or light, explicitly targeting the weight-conscious older consumer. This is perhaps one of the most cynical products on the shelves. If you read the ingredients list on the back of many popular UK brands, coffee is often the third or fourth ingredient. The primary ingredients are usually glucose syrup solids, hydrogenated vegetable oils, which are trans fats hidden in plain sight, and chemical emulsifiers to create that fake foam. You are drinking a chemistry set designed to mimic the mouthfeel of milk and coffee. For those with high cholesterol or heart concerns, ingesting hydrogenated oils is actively counterproductive. The skinny label lures you in, but the invisible risk is the consumption of inflammatory industrial fats. Warm some real milk in the microwave and use a small handheld battery wisp to froth it before adding real coffee. The next item on our list takes us away from the home and into a slightly desperate situation: the roadside stop. 5. The petrol station gourmet machine coffee. The sound of the grinder whirring inside the machine offers a brief hope of freshness during a long motorway journey. It's a distress purchase. You are tired. You need caffeine to drive safely. While the beans might start out okay, these machines are notoriously difficult to clean thoroughly. The warm, moist internal environment of the tubing, particularly where milk powder or liquid milk is dispensed, is an ideal breeding ground for bacteria and mold if maintenance schedules aren't rigorously followed by overworked staff. Furthermore, to ensure the drinks are palatable to everyone, these machines are often calibrated to dispense very high amounts of sugar and creamer automatically. You are getting a dose of unknown microbial activity, along with a sugar spike that will be followed by an inevitable crash behind the wheel. Most service stations now sell decent bottled cold brew or plain black coffee. Opt for those over the machine. But sometimes the danger isn't in the dirt. It's in the deliberate additions to the bean itself. 6. The extra strong or high caffeine blends. The branding is hypermasculine and aggressive. It promises maximum alertness, appealing to those who feel standard coffee no longer touches the sides. For an adult over 55, these products are playing with fire. As we age, the half-life of caffeine in our system extends. The liver takes longer to break it down. These brands often use specific Robusta strains cultivated for extreme caffeine content, sometimes double or triple that of standard Arabica. For a heart that may already have underlying rhythm issues, or for someone with hypertension, this sudden, massive influx of stimulant can precipitate palpitations, severe anxiety, and dangerous spikes in blood pressure. The false security is thinking, I've drank coffee my whole life, I can handle it. Your body at 60 is not your body at 30. The risk is acute cardiovascular stress event. Stick to standard medium roast coffee and accept that if you are tired, your body needs rest, not chemical coercion. We are 2/3 of the way through our warning list. If you wish to be notified when we release future investigations into common household products, please click the subscribe button. Next, we examine the opposite end of the spectrum, the beans that have been burned beyond recognition. 7. The dark French or Italian roast bricks. The packaging is often traditional, perhaps featuring continental European imagery. The coffee inside is roasted until the beans are oily and almost black. It looks serious and authentic. The darkness of the roast hides a multitude of sins. Often, inferior beans are roasted to this extreme degree to mask defects in flavor. Scientifically, roasting past a certain point begins to carbonize the bean. This creates polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, compounds that are also found in charred meat and cigarette smoke. While the levels in coffee are generally low, they are nonetheless carcinogenic compounds that older detoxification systems must process. Furthermore, these intensely dark roasts are highly acidic in the stomach. For the millions of older adults suffering from GERD or acid reflux, a dark Italian roast is an immediate trigger for esophageal irritation. Look for medium roast beans. They retain more of the bean's natural antioxidants and are generally gentler on the stomach. But what if you are trying to do the right thing by cutting out caffeine entirely? 8. The chemically processed decaf. It feels like the responsible choice. You want the ritual without the jitters, especially in the afternoon or evening. It seems entirely safe. The danger here is not in what is present, but in the process used to remove it. The cheapest and most common method used for mass-market UK decaf brands involves soaking the beans in chemical solvents, typically methylene chloride or ethyl acetate, which bond to the caffeine and are then evaporated. While regulatory agencies state that the residue levels are below safety thresholds, methylene chloride is nonetheless an industrial solvent used in paint strippers. Health-conscious older adults may wish to avoid ingesting even trace amounts of such chemicals regularly, as the long-term cumulative effects on aging tissue are not fully understood. The false comfort is the word decaf itself. The invisible risk is potential low-level chemical exposure. You must look specifically for the words Swiss water process or CO2 process on the label. These methods use water or carbon dioxide to remove caffeine with absolutely no chemical solvents. Our final item is perhaps the most modern and insidious threat of all. 9. The flavored coffee pods. The sound of the pod piercing and the pump engaging is satisfyingly high-tech. The pods come in alluring colors with names like caramel macchiato or vanilla swirl. These are convenience products designed to deliver a coffee shop flavor profile at home with zero effort. But just like the sachets, if you break open one of these flavored pods, you won't just find coffee grounds. You will find artificial flavor granules, synthetic sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose, and often powdered creamer agents. You are brewing a hot plastic cup of artificial additives. Furthermore, there is emerging concern regarding microplastics. Brewing hot water under high pressure through a plastic and aluminum capsule may leach microparticles into the beverage. This daily injection of microplastics and artificial flavorings is highly undesirable. Use recyclable aluminum pods filled only with organic, unflavored coffee grounds. Add your own natural flavoring, like a drop of real vanilla extract, afterwards. The landscape of modern coffee is treacherous, but it is not impassable. You do not have to give up your ritual. You merely need to refine it for the reality of your changing physiology. Research suggests these three options are significantly safer bets for the older adult. Number 1. Light to medium roast 100% Arabica beans. Grind them yourself if possible. These contain higher levels of beneficial antioxidants like chlorogenic acid, lower caffeine than Robusta, and fewer compounds created by extreme heat. Number 2. Swiss water processed decaf. As mentioned, this ensures your evening cup is free of both stimulants and industrial solvents. Number 3. Chicory or roasted dandelion root blends. While not technically coffee, these historical alternatives offer the dark, roasted, slightly bitter flavor profile of coffee, with zero caffeine and zero acidity. They are naturally prebiotic and gentle on the digestion. Be vigilant. Read the ingredients. If your coffee contains anything other than coffee beans, ask yourself why. Your health in later years is too valuable to be compromised by a cheap morning brew.